everybody. Thank you for tuning in. This is Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I am Lisa Richmond, and this is Thoughtful Thursday. So if you're new to my channel, I come on every Tuesday for Tarot Tuesday, doing spiritual intuitive messages using cards. Thoughtful Thursday, which is just kind of getting conversation going, whether it's with interviews or my own, all spirit guided kind of information. And then Spirit Saturday, which is a connection with healing using music. I use sound bowls and do sound baths for therapeutic healing. So this is the Thoughtful Thursday. And I had to pop in here with a message all about the eclipse season. And I was hesitant about this because eclipse season is like buzz all over YouTube, all over any kind of channels, spiritual channels, is eclipse season. And first and foremost, I was hesitant about this because I'm not an astrologer. Like, I don't read charts. I find it fascinating, and I'm in Aries. So this eclipse season is happening in Aries season. And so I really held back. I was like, no, I'll leave it to the professionals. But Spirit was like, no, you got to go talk about it. And I was like having a kind of a back and forth with Spirit about it because I'm like, no, I don't think it's a good idea. And it was all about sharing my experience and how it can be relatable for people who aren't astrologers and aren't digging into the ins and outs and the knowing of what the heck is going on with eclipse season. So think about the idea, or think about actually like the eclipses is basically the illumination, whether it's the illumination of the moon or the sun, and in an eclipse is like when something is covered. Okay? And over and over and over again, essentially what is coming through is that what we see isn't necessarily the end all be all. But they're like, careful not to make this fear driven, because it's not about being like what's lurking behind the shadows. It's not like that. It's like really be cognitive and aware about all things that are being presented to you, and see, don't be quick to be like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to do. And even if you're like following, let's say, your human design of the or like your in like guidance, like right away, if it's not an absolute yes, it's a no, like all those things, I'm like, yeah, I get that. I go with that. My instinct, my gut feeling on things. That's kind of, but being in fiery Aries, that can kind of get me in trouble sometimes too, because I can be like, yes, this feels good in the moment right now. Yes, it's an absolute yes right now. But then without actually looking into it, I'm like, well, if I would have known all the things, I wouldn't have been so quick to say yes. This is kind of the energy of everything right now. Don't be so quick to say yes or no, to like full send it into something or be like absolute no. Guidance and intuition, yes. But like through this season, give yourself an extra like minute to see if you know all aspects of the situation. Okay? So, simple example. Invitation to go out to a gathering. Okay? Full no. Like, no. For me right now, it's like, no. But maybe like feel into the gathering itself. Maybe ask more questions than you normally, like who's gonna be there? What are we celebrating? Like what day of the week? What time? Like there's gonna be more information behind it that you're not maybe faced with it right away. Because then if you could like lean into it and be like, oh, Michelle's gonna be there. And I know Michelle like had a baby and I haven't seen her since. Like I feel like this would be a great opportunity to connect with her face to face, and her first time out away from the baby or something. Like, I don't know. That was just the example they gave me. So understand that everything isn't exactly as it seems right now, and that can cause some chaos. And a lot of the talk is this chaos energy in this, but I really feel like it doesn't have to be like so chaotic that you feel out of control of your life. It's just use this time to really sink into all the details and see what is might be behind the initial presentation of something. Okay. Also, what they're saying is like during the season, really like check and double check that you have everything that you need if you're going on a trip. Make the list. Okay, do I have all my travel identification? Do I have my kids' travel identification? Do I have my rental car lined up? Double check, triple check, like that kind of stuff. Also, like if, I don't know, they're giving me this. So if you have something coming up that you are like presenting or it's like a big deal coming up, you want to make sure that you're not going to get sideswiped. And I don't mean this as a scare. It means that in the energy of like going and doing, and like the fiery Aries energy in the first place is going to be like, okay, how can you take charge? How can you lead? Are like walking into it kind of thing. They're saying, just make sure that you've got all the stuff that you need and that you're prepared. Preparation and knowing everything that's involved is going to be really important. So really double check, triple check what's behind everything, essentially, because there's a bit of this like masked thing. And it's not like, again, not to scare you, but you're not going to see all aspects of the situations at hand. So really double check, triple check so that you're not sideswiped. Okay. That is like big message numero uno. The second, this is a big one, is that the like rebirth, or like, cause again, like April 1st or the beginning, or like basically after the equinox, we're moving into what is really the new year of Gaia. Okay, so like our superimposed time and space calculations of our 12 months is wrong. Even the names of them don't line up with the numbers of them. Like Oct is 10, but it should be the 8th month. Like it doesn't make sense. But anyway, we all know this. If you don't know this and you're curious about this, look it up, search it out. There's a ton about it. Anyway, what really is the new year is the Aries season. Like the start of Aries is actually the new year. That's when like spring comes. It's your opportunity to start fresh, create new, have that kind of energy of starting new. Okay. So this is really big. But what's coming forward for our like rebirth, starting fresh, new opportunities is like coming with a ton of options. So it's like, it's not only like you're going to crack the egg and start fresh and kind of like the spring feel. It's like you're walking through this door of this fresh new year, and we're all going to feel this like rebirth of sort. Like we're really letting go of the old. And all my videos have been that, letting go, shedding the things that no longer serves you. But what's happening is that we're getting flooded right now with, in this eclipse season, with all of these opportunities of growth. And with it, it gives us the opportunities of like closing out old karmas, closing out old things, old hurts, old beliefs. It's like, it's coming to a like boom, 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 boom. So it feels like a lot. So that literally like, that's all been transpiring. And I think we just like came through a week of like mayhem where we felt all the feels and we're like shaken up, and it's been a bit, right? It's been a hot sec for sure. But we can look into this energy of fresh and starting new and this rebirth. And it is like, we're right at the tip of it. Like we're opening the door, right? But here's the thing with this eclipse season is the way it's going to kind of feel a bit confusing is instead of like one straight path that you might be like, oh, this is open and easy, I know exactly what to do. You have multiple paths. You have multiple options of where to go and like which path to take. The key thing to remember here is that there's no wrong path. Okay. Some might lead to one lesson, opportunity, whatever it might be. One might lead to another, one might lead to another, one might lead to another. Okay. You're going to have multiple opportunities. The key thing is that you there's no wrong choice. Okay? It's just that you have the ability to have a bunch of different options. You're going to be faced with a bunch of different options. So leading into it, know that you can trust yourself. Really get comfortable with trusting your intuition. And I think that's the whole idea of like, look behind the surface of everything. Get all the facts, get as many details as you can on what's behind it, because that's going to better help you make the choices that you want to take. Again, no wrong choice, but just know what you're getting yourself into. All right? And so with this rebirth, know that there is multiple opportunities. You might get multiple job offers. You might get multiple door closes as well. And don't think of that as failure. Think of that as like still the closing out of things and spirit saying, hey, not for you. So really try not to get too like swept into the energy of chaos and like all these stuff going on. Like take your step back. Do your due diligence of finding out which is like best suited. Get as much information as you can from all these kind of different timeline feeling. And then know that once April 8th hits and like we're moving out of like retrograde and eclipse season and we can like feel it big time, things are going to settle a little bit. You're going to be able to look back and be like, oh, whoa, look at all that transpired. Okay. And that you might want to take notes along the way. They're also saying like, even if you don't know what you're like, why I'm writing this down or like making choices or like things that come up, write it down. Because when you go back and you look at the notes that you wrote about eclipse season, you're going to start putting some puzzle pieces together. You're going to be like, oh, like I didn't even realize that was really happening or that I felt really strongly about this. And it's not like it's going to be like almost like, it is almost going to be like you're going to look back and be like, that feels like a dream. Like, did that really happen? Yes, it did. It really happened. But there's a reason for this. There's a reason for all this big eclipse energy. It's for you to know that everything that's coming up, you are prepared for. You've been preparing for years, actually. And that you have the tools to make these choices. There's a lot of choices. And that you can use all the tools that you've built to get here, make your choice, and like honor what it is, gather your information and own it. Okay? And the last thing is that what comes forward for you, it might not be what you think. So preparation, door opening, looking behind the surface. Okay, I'm choosing this path. I'm going forward. And then it's like not what I thought at all. But whatever your signs and symbols or synchronicities is with spirit or loved one on the other side or whatever. So if you find a feather or a dime or you see a rainbow or your thing is a blue peacock or an eagle, whatever. I don't know. Multiple things. Know that those are your signs that come up a lot through this as validators. Okay, so really look out for your signs and symbols as you walk forward, because that is like validators. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep doing this. Signs be like, I made the wrong choice. I don't know. I got sideswiped. There's that white feather. Oh, okay, no, I'm good. Ground, get back into myself. I know I'm on the right path. Okay, so don't doubt yourself. It's going to get better. This doesn't have to be negative and it doesn't have to be scary. This could be something where you learn a whole lot about yourself and a whole lot about your ability to trust and make really big decisions. And that just because you thought that you wanted it to be a certain way, just because you thought you wanted something and it didn't happen and you ended up completely on a different path very quickly, there's no mistakes. Okay, no mistakes, no coincidences. This is a very purposeful time of you moving forward into this next timeline, and it looks a bit different and it feels a bit jumbly, and you will get back into your timeline and ease, and then you'll look back and be like, whoa, what a detour. But here I am, I'm loving it, it's good, spring's awesome, I love it, okay? So it doesn't matter what your sign is. It doesn't matter what your placement is. It all kind of bands, and it's obviously varying degrees of all of this, but we're all going to feel it. And so just know, like, figure out where your placement is with this. And if you're past, when you open up the doors, like, I'm fully staying in and I'm just integrating all the healing that I've done. The Chiron being in Aries, that's all about like deep level healing. All the healing I've done, I'm just gonna like hunker in for a hot sec and do nothing. And I've done all my research behind that, and I with certainty choose that, right? That is great. That is full force, awesome. So whatever degree it is in which you fall into this, you're going to feel it, and then you're going to come out mid-April and look back and be like, whoa, that was crazy, but it all makes sense. It all makes sense. So if this doesn't quite make sense to you yet, save this video, look back on it. It will. Trust me. Take notes too, because when you take notes, you can come back and like pinpoint your like placements, your road placements, your symbols, your like check-in points along the way. It's going to be really important. I'm seeing if that's it. That's big energy. I lost my voice again. I'm sorry about my voice. I don't know. I think I said it in a video about me losing my voice, and when it comes up, it's like huge healing for me, and I always have to look into my throat chakra on why I lose my voice, and it's always significant. Major healing. Chiron in Aries. I'm Aries. Like, it's just like all the healing that's transpired in such an accelerated time has been insane. So know you're not alone. Know that this is all honestly for the greater good. This is going to help you build your tools along the way. And it's also going to help you feel like this is like breaking in your shoes for the long-term hike. You know, that's a weird analogy, but it's true. It's like eclipse season is like you just got a new pair of like wicked good quality hiking shoes, and breaking them in is a dirty bitch. Like, it's not fun, but it's mandatory. You need to do it in order to like have the trajectory of the long term, and like do your research on what type of boots you want. Like, make sure you get the right fit. It's not going to feel great right at the beginning, but it is all purposeful, and just trust, okay? Please leave a comment below on like how this resonates and what your experience is with this, and how it's all going down with you. And I hope that you all have a really great Easter, and enjoy your time through this period. Introspection, get out there, be in nature, look for your signs, and let me know how this all resonates, okay? So this is really spirit-led for you in eclipse season, so that you have really tangible things to hold on to and know what's going on. Again, I started by saying I don't do astrology, but they're just saying this, so like it's up to you to see. Okay, so Chiron is in Aries right now, and if you don't know what Chiron is, it's like a placement that really digs into like the deep level healing in your life. So look where Chiron is in your birth chart. Look which house it is. So let's say it's in like the second house, and that's all about like foundations and money and like jobs, okay? So if Chiron's in your second house and Chiron's in Aries right now, and we're in Aries season and it's illuminated right now, look at how that affects you, how you're doing big healing, long-term healing on whatever is in that house. So if it's about like money, look at what you're doing right now and healing like a lifetime of like what your issues are behind money, bringing in finances, holding on to it, what your relationship is. Know that it is being illuminated right now, and that it's time for your healing. So they're really telling me to tell you to look into your Chiron placement. Again, this is like super spirit-led. This is for you to do because I feel like it's going to make sense to you on what is like right here. So as soon as you can look at the reason why you're doing this healing, it's going to make more sense as you have this like newness coming into this new year for you, where you can be like, yeah, that's right. My old self had this belief system with money, and I used to say this, and I used to have these limiting beliefs, but healed self is looking at it as an opportunity. It's just energy. It comes, it goes. And what is my relationship to it? What's my trust? Whatever it might be. We all have it right now. Chiron's big. So look into where that placement is for you. Okay. That's a spirit-led message. So I hope this resonates. And again, leave comments and let me know. And have a great Easter. I love you so much. And I'll see you next time.